Emily, I'll start with you. Can you give us a breakdown of how John Oliver's debt forgiveness stunt worked?
Yeah, actually, absolutely. So the producers of the John Oliver Show were working with this organization called the Rolling Jubilee that emerged out of Occupy Wall Street, and they figured out that there are these third-party debt buyers who purchase debt from banks for pennies, like pennies on the dollar, and it's so that the banks can recoup some of their investment after they've given up, and the debt buyers can just go really hard on the people that owe the debt and hopefully collect. So most small claims in America, most things that go to small claims court are actually debt buyers taking people who they think owe them money when sometimes they actually don't. So if the banks don't actually value the debt that much, why does it exist? This is the concept that the Rolling Jubilee came up with. And John Oliver's producers worked with them to do the exact same thing. They made a third-party company. They called it CARP, for the bottom-feeding fish. And they bought, for $60,000, $15 million worth of medical debt. And the thing about this is, like, they have no way of, they know who owns it, but there's no way you can, like, forgive by someone's specific debt because it's just a spreadsheet. It's so abstract and it ruins people's lives to have this, like, abstract thing that allows other strangers to just hound them for money over and over and over again. So when he did this, he framed it as in competition with Oprah and the car episode, which cost that show $8 million to give everyone in the audience a car. But this show, the gift, just cost $60,000. So he made it this big party,
You're saying
I
he's
guess.
not Oprah.
Yeah.
He's not Oprah is what I am really saying.
Well, I should mention that some critics have pointed out that the debt John Oliver's show bought and forgave wasn't realistically worth $15 million, but at the same time, quite a stunt. Mm-hmm. And not only did he kind of do this gifting at the end, the clip that we just heard, but he explained everything that you just explained as well during the episode. Emily, why was this a big deal?
I think that one of the strengths of John Oliver is that he demystifies very boring things that have deep effect on American politics, banking, and life. So he's explained why election primaries aren't really all that democratic to American voters. He doesn't actually give them a call to action or any tools to change that, but he just literally does the baseline explaining about all of these obtuse things that people don't understand. And to me, that's super valuable. So when he does this with the debt buying companies, it gives people the first inkling to be like, oh, I'm getting screwed. And I think that is a powerful thing for a comedian to do.
Yeah, I mean, a 20-minute piece about the debt buying business.
Yeah.
Not your typical comedy fodder. I mean, people might have turned off the radio just hearing me say that
I know.
sentence.
It's like, oh, wait a minute. So off the scene, they're doing another 20-minute piece about debt buying.
Why does it work for John Oliver? I'll ask you, Stephen. What do you find interesting about his approach?
Well, I mean, it's really radical when you think about it. I mean, I think the late night, the post-Jon Stewart world was so fractured. Everyone's got to find their own piece of it. Everyone's trying to figure out what they can replace. And I think John Oliver's just gone on his own thing, right? He's just decided. And also, in the viral wars, like the viral content comedy wars, he's also taken a very odd tack, which is instead of doing loopy things with celebrities and games and stuff, he's done like, okay, let's do a 20-minute bit on explanatory politics. And it's really what it is it's explanatory journalism with a tiny little bit of comedy on either end to get you into it. Very interesting. I mean, really unique.
Mm-hmm. What do you find interesting about his approach, Rachel?
Well, I think it's actually a really good the form matching the comedian in a way. I think that he is an outsider. He has the British accent. He sort of sets himself up as someone who is happily now an American, but somebody who is coming from the outside, so perhaps in a position to question things that Americans might find just would take for granted. And I think that he also has a bit of the. I think that he's comfortable taking a stand, and I think like one of the things that I think that detracted from Jon Stewart's power sometimes is I think that he always had this kind of like I'm a centrist and I'm going to find the balance, and I think that John Oliver has this kind of advocacy approach, and I think also comes from that British tradition of like harsh political satire, and so I think he takes a strong stand. He has a huge sense of outrage. I mean, I would say that Sam B is doing a similar kind of thing on her show, where it's full outrage. It's kind of taking something that no one is talking about and reminding you of just how rotten the system is to the core. And I think it's just a good match with John Oliver's personality. I think that, he doesn't. Somehow he manages to talk to you 20 minutes about medical debt and predatory debt collectors without sounding like a scold, without you feeling like you're being lectured.
Yeah.
Do you think this is kind of a unique talent of his and a form that works for him, or is there something traditional media can learn from this and apply?
I mean, what I think is so interesting is, the ways in which, I do think traditional journalism could learn a lot from explaining something enormously complicated in a way that's accessible and even deploying some humor. Because I think that, I don't know that a lot of people would have a 20-minute viral, be passing something around if it was from CNN or MSNBC. I think you'd feel like you were being
fair,
scolded.
though, he has a very edutainment approach, but even in that segment where he's describing what debt buying is, he's using footage from C-SPAN.
Yes, and that's a great point. So it's out there. I think that he's able to, it's a bit of the Huffington Post, BuzzFeed, the kind of new media approach, which is you're culling from other people's work to put something together in a package that, has his kind of stamp on it.